everybody. This is RJ Allen with Startup Stories, and this is our first episode, and I am excited. This is Avery West, and she is the founder of Be Blessed Creations. Be Blessed Creations. I said it better the second time. What's up? How you doing?
Hey, I'm good. How are you?
Oh, lovely. I know you are slammed busy right now, aren't you?
It is Christmas season, so everything's a little wild. Not only am I working on like custom orders, but just trying to get my own stock up because I've got several vendor shows coming up. So it's I like to say it's the Super Bowl time for me.
Yep.
The fourth quarter, so it's a little crazy, but that's what I like.
Well, I want you to notice her background and my background. Her background is so nice and pretty and clean. And look at this. All right. So I did have the green screen up before we got started, and I had a nice flag up and everything. And I was sitting there going, you know what? This is about startups. And guys, I'm gonna let y'all know this is what startup stories looks like. And Avery was telling me beforehand that you have people working in your room right now, so you had to go to another room to record this.
Yes, my two girls that help me, they're in there painting right now at the other end of my house. So I absolutely would have the same chaotic background if it wasn't for that. But I decided to move to the other end, so hopefully they didn't distract me.
I understand. So I did ask Avery before we got started if I should wear a hat or not wear a hat because you got a little bit of a glare there, and as I move, it's a little distracting. So I put the hat on. So I think we're good there. Okay. All right. So Avery, this is all about you. People want to know. I want to know how it all started, how it all happened. And what's it like to be a startup story and where you started and how you are where you are now. Tell us the story, and I'm just going to kind of let you go, and then I'll interrupt because I'm really good at interrupting whenever I have a question. Is that good?
That's great.
All right, it's all you.
All right. So, Be Blessed Creations was really born out of honestly a not so fabulous time in my life. I was an undergrad at UNCW, and although I loved Wilmington, I loved school, I loved going to UNCW, I did not love being away from home. And so, what I would do, because I came home every single weekend for 4 years straight, and my mama, she loves to tell people that because she thinks it's the most crazy thing that a college student could do is to come home every single weekend. But I loved home. And I didn't, I missed my people. I missed home during the week, Monday through Friday. It was a blessing when I could get to the point where I did not have Friday classes. But, as a freshman in college, that's unheard of. You always get the Friday 8 a.m. So you're going to be there the whole week.
Yep.
So what I would do to try and get through the homesick weeks is I would go to AC Moore, and oddly enough, they're not even open anymore. They're out of business. I would go. My apartment was right behind AC Moore, and so each week I would go to AC Moore, and whatever they had on sale that week, if it was
So
canvases.
what's AC Moore? Is that like a
So
craft store or
it
something?
is. It's kind of like a Hobby Lobby slash Michaels. It was honestly my favorite because I felt like they had more like blank pieces to work on, kind of blank spaces. And I think it's probably been 3 or 4 years now, maybe more than that, that they went out of business, sadly. But I was a rewards member, and I that was my favorite part of my freshman year. But I would go to AC Moore and I would get whatever they had on sale, canvases, wood slices, wooden signs, shelf sitter signs, whatever they had on sale that week. I would get it, and I would take it back to my apartment, and I would sit on my bedroom floor in my apartment, and I would paint it, whatever it would be. I did some seasonal stuff like pumpkins or flowers, Christmas trees, nativity scenes, and I started posting them on Facebook. Not to sell or get rid of, but just, hey, friends, family, this is what I painted tonight, just sharing what I had done. And it took a little bit, but people started commenting or texting, calling, and saying, "Hey, can I buy that? Hey, I would like one of those myself. Can you paint me that?" And honestly, it just went from there. It was very unexpected. I definitely didn't plan this. I definitely did not. I was never, in kindergarten and all through school when they say, what do you want to be when you grow up? I certainly never said I want to be a business owner, um, because I come from a family of entrepreneurs. My dad started his own business. My grandparents have owned several businesses. And so I have always seen the hard work and time and actual blood, sweat, and tears that have gone into owning a business. So I was never against it, but that's never anything that I thought, that's what I want to do.
But
Um,
people only see the results
yes,
of the business. They have,
yes,
unless you've been through it, and you said it right, the blood, sweat, and tears, it is nonstop. And it
yes,
is both, you and I both have other jobs. And,
yes.
like these kind of started like a side hustle.
Mm-hmm,
And just, hey, let's see, like you said, you just kind of started posting stuff, and then you realized, oh, people want to buy this,
mm-hmm,
and it turned into a business, and that happens to a lot of entrepreneurs. They
mm-hmm,
they kind of come up with something and just kind of start sharing it, and people are like, hey, wait, you might be able to sell this.
mm-hmm,
Um, but I love the fact the blood, sweat, and tears, because no one ever sees the hard work. They just see the little bit of success or the lot of success that you're having and go, oh, it must be nice. And you're like, yeah, I'm working 48 hours a day.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I'm sorry I interrupted. Keep going.
No, you're fine. Um, so it started from there. I started posting, and the first things I really remember thinking, oh my gosh, people really want this, and they wanted them to give as gifts, which was, an amazing compliment. I thought, was wood slices. I had painted some wood slices with nativity scenes on them, and that was obviously around Christmas time, and I just remember thinking, what have I got myself into? Because I don't remember the exact number that I painted that year, but I remember in my college apartment, I had them laying everywhere. I had wood slices laying everywhere that I had painted or was in the process of painting. And I just remember thinking at that point, what am I doing? What have I got myself into? But that seems to be the theme of my life. I feel like I'm always just dreaming big dreams, and my husband is always like there and just we'll figure it out. Because there's a lot of times when I look at him and I'm like, I don't really know how this is gonna happen, but it's gonna happen.
So I'm
um,
going to stop you there because you bring up a very good point. Your husband, first, you've just recently been married. Is that correct?
that is correct in May,
So, wow, still a newlywed.
for
That's
sure.
awesome. um, I wanted, because when you said, he just says, well, we'll just figure it out. I think that is so important to have that partner with you. And I use my wife Marjorie. She's kind of the same way. She's just kind of like, look, you'll figure it out. You got this. Very supportive, and just, and when you have that with you, I think it makes a big difference, because that's a battle you don't have to fight. And they're
Hmm.
just there to help you, support you. And all you need sometimes is that one person right by your side that said you can do it. And it's
Hmm.
it's awesome that you have that.
Hmm. Yeah, I'm extra thankful because not only do I have the village that I need in him, I have it in my parents, my family, my grandparents, and lots of friends that support me. And if there's anything, any just one thing that I could tell someone that was wanting to start a business or even just thinking about it, it would be to find your village. because it does take a village, especially during the busy times of the year. Like you said, there's a lot that happens and goes on, and people just think, "Oh, it must be nice," but they don't see the sacrifices. I mean, just last week, I had to miss a birthday party, and I don't love doing that. But Garrett and I had made that decision, and there's a lot of give and take when you own a business. There's a lot of good things. There's a lot of luxuries, but there's also some sacrifices that you have to make. And having your village there to surround you and help you and make it through all the craziness and the Super Bowl time and the fourth quarter periods, as I call them, that's what really makes or breaks you, I feel like.
So when did you realize that? I mean, you kind of told me how it started, but when did you realize and start going, okay, I might be able to really make this thing fly? And we all kind of go through that. Oh, this is kind of nice. Oh, I'm making a little bit of extra money. Wow, this is cool. But when did you finally decide, okay, it's time to go all in
Hmm.
and really see what I can do?
Hmm. So when I graduated from UNCW in 2019, I knew I went to school for psychology, and that is just one of those degrees like you have to go to graduate school,
Right.
honestly, to be able to do a whole lot with it. And I knew that my whole 4 years. So when I applied to graduate school, I thought, I don't exactly know what graduate school is going to look like. I'm not exactly sure how I'm gonna do that as far as the time commitment. So I I knew that I could, continue painting, continue posting things, just seeing what happened there. And when I did that and I started graduate school at Campbell, and that is what toted me through graduate school, that's when I knew, like, okay, I have something. I have something that people, are wanting to buy, something that people are interested in. And that was honestly the point for me, that I was like, I need to start dreaming a little bit bigger with this. I need to do more with this, see where this can actually go.
So what was that process like? Um, I know with me it was, oh, hey, people like my shirts, and I just kind of started with shirts. And then all of a sudden, hey, can you do banners? Can you do
Mm-hmm.
this? So it was people were asking me to do stuff that I couldn't do, and I'm sitting there thinking I'm leaving money on the table.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
that money I started making off shirts was all about reinvesting in the company,
Yes.
and able to get more equipment to do more things. And, I think we all get to that point of, okay, am I going to dream bigger? And am
Yes.
I happy where I'm at? Or am I going to dream bigger and see what we can do with this? So, when you realized that, what was it you did?
So thankfully, as I said, my parents have always been very supportive. My mama tries to keep me a little bit more grounded, I feel like, than my daddy does. But again, my daddy is the entrepreneur in the family. So he understands the hustle. And not that my mama doesn't, but sometimes she has to give me a little reality check. um,
Parents are good
so
for that, aren't they?
yes, yes, mamas can kind of bring you back to reality when they need to. But um, I, I went to my daddy, and this was right out of undergrad, and I said, I really want to do something with this. And I had a friend that was selling her CNC machine. And so I took a
So
small,
what's a CNC? What's that?
so a CNC machine is a router that cuts
Okay.
out door hangers, wooden signs, ornaments, things of that nature. So I took a small loan from my daddy and purchased the CNC machine from my friend. And I don't exactly remember how long I used it. It was maybe a year or so. And it was super exciting. I enjoyed seeing the things cut out, all of that. But I quickly realized I did not enjoy the process of that. I did not enjoy the beginning stages of some of the product. I wanted to paint the product, wrap it pretty, and sell.
Right.
Um, and so with that, I learned growing pains are sometimes, essential. And I realize that it's okay to outsource things or
Right.
ask for help or because I think that's what keeps me going is I get to do the things that I love. And now I lean on other local businesses, small businesses that I partner with, and they cut out my actual products. And I get to do the thing that I love and I get to paint them.
But how, and that is great. But what about your productivity now? Sometimes it's okay to spend a little more, and
Yes.
because you have more time to make products. You know, you outsource
Yes.
a little bit, so you have to spend a little bit more, but you can make a whole lot more because you don't have to cut all that stuff out.
Yes. 110%. Not only do I get not only do I get to do the part that I enjoy, but I don't have the headache of that. I get to draw
Right.
my designs out and then send them to the people who do all the fancy computer work, and I just get to work the paintbrush. But it does, I feel like, make me more productive, not only as far as getting more orders out and more items out, but it makes me happier not to have to work on the computer.
So have you always been creative or artistic? Is this something that you've always had?
I have absolutely always been creative. My mama would go on Oriental Trading, the website, and she would get me the like craft kits that they had when I was younger in elementary school. And that is something I enjoy doing. Me and her would do it together. Um, I remember having like the little foam crafts where you would glue the little like eyes on or the pom poms, you would glue those on the shape or whatever, and I would always give them to like my teachers, my classmates. um when I was younger, my mama would paint shirts, birthday shirts. Each year I had a birthday shirt, and so a lot of my creativity does come from her, and I'm thankful that she passed that on because obviously it's what I do every single day now.
So art school was never in the
No,
no.
no, no. It definitely was not. I did grow up singing and taking voice lessons, and people say that that's obviously a form of art, and I totally agree. But going to get a degree for anything related to art was never in my wheelhouse.
Okay. Okay. So you are now we're at the point where you're outsourcing stuff, you get to do the stuff that you enjoy. So, how much is the business growing? I mean, did you kind of have a set goal of, I'm just going to give you my example. My example was, you know what? If I could, make enough to make a car payment a month, I'll be happy.
Hmm.
And that's kind of how it started.
Hmm.
I'm doing this for fun. If I can do this, and then
Hmm.
as it grows, there's a little bit more goal, and then you're like, okay, well, if I can do this or if I can do
Hmm.
that. So, what was yours?
Honestly, mine was to pay for grad school.
Okay.
Because my parents are very supportive, and they always told me throughout high school, like, we will pay for you to go to undergrad, but if you want to go to grad school, that's, a commitment that you're going to have to make. And I always appreciated that and respected them for that because I came out of undergrad with no student loans,
That's
which I was
awesome.
very fortunate to be able to do. But I knew my time was coming when it was my turn. Like I knew, that was going to be on me. And I felt like, I mean, when I bought the CNC machine, even though I don't use that anymore, it's no longer in operation. I felt like, okay, I'm gonna be able to do this. But then of course you always have the doubts in the back of your mind, like,
Right.
you're not gonna be able to do this. But I did. I paid for almost every single bit of grad school with my business in those 3 years. I went to Campbell for 3 years for counseling, and I
And
mean,
Campbell's not cheap.
it's not
Campbell's not a cheap
it
school.
it's not a cheap school. It's not. So that to me kind of showed me, okay, I think you need to take this a little bit more seriously. Like I think you need to dig deeper, um, and I have, and I hope in the next couple years that I'm able to dig even deeper. But I'm very excited for how things are going.
So you started, you got grad school. So how long ago did you graduate?
I graduated from grad school in 23.
23, so about three
Yep.
years ago.
Yep.
Okay. Um, and in those 3 years, how much has the business grown? Are you thinking like, okay, I want to double my business from this year, or has it tripled? What are you doing to really grow the business now? You started outsourcing some stuff.
Mhm.
You've got employees apparently during the busy season during the fourth
Mhm.
quarter. What are some of the things that you're doing now or that you've learned over the past years in order to be more productive and make more money? Because,
Mhm.
as much as you like the business, we're in business to do what?
Yeah.
Make money. I don't care
Yeah.
what anyone says. Oh, I love it. It's so much fun. I'm enjoying it. It's the dream. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But if I'm not making money, it's not the dream. You know? I mean, I didn't buy all this equipment to go, oh, it's my dream.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
what is it that you're doing now to really bring that money in? Because I mean, I know you just went to a show in Fayetteville.
I
So
did.
what are all the things you're doing now that have really grown the business to where it is?
So I really I try to hone in on the idea or the mantra of never missing an opportunity. Um I don't want to miss the opportunity to grow my business because I'm very thankful for what God has done in my business over the past 7 years because I'm truly just the vessel. He is working through me. He is growing this. That is not me whatsoever. I try to hold a paintbrush as much as I can, but this is all him. This is not me. I don't take any credit. Um,
Now
but
I'm gonna stop you on something. I'm gonna stop you,
okay.
okay? Because I'm a Christian too. All right, I am. But and there's blessings and there's all kinds of things out there. But you know, God's going to bless you if you work hard.
Mhm. Mhm.
So
Mhm.
yeah, I mean, yeah, it is blessing, it is all God, but you have had to put a lot of work in. And I
Mhm.
am not, please, guys, I am not taking anything away from the Almighty. But I will say, you want to be blessed, get
Mhm.
off your butt and work hard.
Mhm. Yes.
When he sees you trying,
Yes.
that's when he's going to pour out a blessing.
Yes. And I've really leaned on the I don't remember the exact verse, but it is if you're faithful with little, you'll be faithful with much. And I really try to tell myself that and lean on that in my interactions. I did just go to the holiday fair in Fayetteville, North Carolina. If you don't know what that is, you definitely should look it up because it's a ton of fun. There's I think this year there was about 16,000 people that visited, so it's a major 4 day event. But I remind myself that, and I don't want to miss an opportunity, whether it be with individual customers. At the holiday fair, I met a couple different businesses that now want to carry my product. So with each interaction, whether it be individuals, companies, some other small businesses, I just don't want to miss an opportunity. So in those interactions, I do my best to try to tell people like, I appreciate you. Thank you for stopping by because I genuinely do appreciate each person who stops by my business, but any small business because, now in today's time when you can go on your phone and in 2 seconds have a shirt, a gift,
Right.
anything you need shipped to you from Amazon. Not saying that I don't use Amazon, but it's really special to me when people choose specifically to shop with a small business.
Well, I'm going to ask you some questions, um, and you don't have to answer them because it's going to be about finances, not your finances, not the business finances, but so that vendor fair you went to in Fayetteville,
Mm-hmm.
uh, you had to invest money into that. It wasn't like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, let me just show up and show you my goods. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, they're
Mm-hmm.
in it to make money too.
Yeah.
So what? And then you had to get all your inventory.
Hmm.
There were, I mean, I saw your booth. I mean, I saw the pictures and I was like, wow, this looks great. I mean, you did a fantastic job. I was highly impressed. Um, but that wasn't cheap.
Mm-mm.
So, do you want to tell us how much was it just to be part of it?
So there are different fees that you have to pay to be a part. You have to rent your booth. You have to have different insurances and things like that. But the main concern for me was I had never been in a space where, I mean, obviously, each time I try to go somewhere, I want to make it inviting and pretty, but I really wanted to step my game up. So we had to buy supplies to build. My husband built me a beautiful checkout stand. Um, he jokes and tells me all the time, like, I expect all these things from him, like to be a carpenter, and he's not a carpenter, he's a lineman. But for me, he'll tap into any skills that he needs to, and I'm thankful for that. But he built a beautiful checkout stand. I had to have shelving to display my items, different things like rugs, and um, just to display the product was my main concern, because that was things that I didn't have on hand, because at the moment I don't have a storefront. So that's not something that I was used to purchasing or having on hand, or just bringing out of my closet, if you will. So that was a main expense for that part.
Do you want a storefront? Is that something that you're thinking you might want to get into? You know, that retail aspect, or do you have a website where people can
So
order online?
I do not currently have a website, but that is something that after Christmas is over, that is something I do want to work on. Because going to these holiday fairs and things of that nature, you definitely meet people that, you know, did not know your business before. And I've met people from Jacksonville. I've even this week I shipped to a lady um, from out of state because she lives, I don't even know how she found my business, truthfully, but I'm grateful. um, so I would love to build a website first and foremost, but I would love to see a storefront at some point. Um, I don't know exactly what that would look like, but I think that would be wonderful. I would love to have somewhere where people could come, even if it was to do like paint parties and things of that nature, but also um, almost more of a community aspect, like have a place where other small businesses could also put their items, and just make it kind of like a hub where people could shop for different gifts, but it would be from small businesses.
So is that like the long-term goal? I guess, what's your end goal in this?
That
Is there an end goal? Is this just something you're like, you know what, it's growing, I'm enjoying it. Let's see how it goes. Or are you like, you know what, this is my end goal. Where's it going to go?
So I feel like that would definitely be my end goal. I don't really have a timeline on that, because I just feel like when the time is right, I will be faithful with much, hopefully. Um, and I know that for my needs, it's going to have to be the perfect space, the perfect storefront, because I would love to be able to not only work in the store, not in the obviously, the part where people would shop at, but I would love to have space to work, but also sell my items, because currently I'm working out of my home, and that is very overwhelming at times, especially during the Christmas season, because there's paint and glitter and ribbon and ribbon trimmings and door hangers and anything that you could think of. It was probably sitting on my couch before it made it to your door.
Right.
Like there is be blessed spread from one end to the other of this house. So yeah.
Well, we both work other jobs, and people that know us, they know where we work. But how hard is it? I mean, I know how hard it is for me. How hard is it to to have two jobs? Because people are like, "Oh, this is your side hustle." And I'm like, "It used to be a side hustle." You
Yeah.
know, I agree. It used to be a side hustle. Now it's a hustle.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a full blown hustle. It is incredibly difficult. I think the main thing that I have to focus on in having two jobs is being as intentional as I can with my time. Um, and the hardest part to me is being all in no matter where you're at,
Exactly.
because that is exactly what I want to do. Wherever I'm at, I want to
Yep.
be all in. Even if it's, at church, at school, at wherever I'm at, I want to be all in. And that is hard sometimes. That is
It-
really hard when the night before you were up until 2 a.m. painting orders that just had to get out the next day. So to me, that's the most difficult.
And I totally agree because, in the jobs we have, I mean, I love what I do
Hmm.
as I guess my main job, but I
Hmm.
also I love this. I mean, as
Hmm.
messy as it is, you can't tell, but I love it just as much. And this was never one of my dreams. It kind of
Hmm.
just happened, and all of a sudden, wow! And I'm having the time of my life, like
Hmm.
you are. I wrote something down here because I never asked you this.
Hmm.
How did you get the name Be Blessed Creations? How'd that come up?
I am so glad that you asked me that because I was going to tell you if you didn't ask. So, and I feel like it kind of not only does the name like I feel like the name encompasses what I really want my business to be about. Which I feel like is, what you want your business name to say about you.
Exactly.
So when I was younger, I spent a lot of time with my granda and grandda with a Doll on the end, and everyone always gets that confused, but that's the name that we gave her. And we would always, if we went to a drive-through or, just in a store or whatever, when people would say, have a good day, or, thank you, instead of saying thank you or have a good day, her response would always be blessed. And when I was younger, I always thought, I don't know why she says that. Why can she just not say thank you or have a good day? Like, I thought it was so strange when I was younger. But as I got older, I really appreciate like the intentional blessing that that gives to someone, because I feel like it's so special to hear be blessed instead of thanks or, yep, you too. Like, and she still does that to this day. Um, and so that's what I want my business to be, is intentional, and I want people to feel special when they are my customer, and that I care about them and that I appreciate them. And I feel like her saying be blessed is how that makes people feel.
So, what do you think? By the way, that was a great story. Thank you. What do you think has been your secret sauce? What has made you stand out? Because I mean, a lot of people sell stuff, the same things you sell. What makes you different? What makes you stand out? What makes your business successful compared
Mm-hmm.
to someone else's?
Mm-hmm. Something that I had to learn very early on is an abundance mindset, especially with a business like mine. There's lots of people who paint different things, and whether it's door hangers or ornaments or anything paint will stick to, I'm willing to try and paint it. um, but something I had to learn very early on is an abundance mindset, and I have to realize lots of times and remember there's plenty of work to go around. There's plenty of customers to go around. And I love that. I love being able to support other businesses, even if they do things similar to mine. Next weekend, I'm actually having a vendor event at my parents' barn, and that you're making the signs for, by the way. Super excited about that.
They'll be done this
Um,
weekend, by the way.
Hey, that is great. I'm excited about it. If I get them the day before, that's perfect timing over here. But I'm having vendors at my own vendor event that are gonna carry things and offer things that are very similar to mine. Because I feel like that's just the best way, not only in art or design, but just in small business in general. Like, I feel like we all do better when we're supporting each other. And so just kind of having that collaboration, abundance mindset, I mean, that's my favorite thing that I've learned by owning a business.
That's awesome. I grew up in the corporate world,
Hmm.
and and I love small business, and I love the other businesses that I do business with. Uh, but I've got this cutthroat, you know, and I've really got to tame it back. Going, RJ, hey, this is a group effort with everything. But
Hmm.
when you're in the corporate world, I was in corporate for 24 years. It was, you know, if I was with Target, we got to do everything we can to make sure Walmart doesn't succeed. And when I was with Walmart, is I got to do everything to make sure Target doesn't succeed. And being a small business owner, it's so different
Hmm.
because all the hard work that you do,
Hmm.
these other small businesses are working just as hard, and you want them to succeed just as
Hmm.
much as you want to succeed.
Hmm.
Even though I consider them competition,
Hmm.
I know what they put into it, and I'm like, you know
Yeah.
what? And um, I even recommend
Hmm.
other people because I'm like,
Hmm.
you know what? I can't do that, or
Right.
I'm not going to be able to get that done in the timeline you want, but you know who will?
Right.
Such and such. And so,
Hmm.
I do try to recommend other
Hmm.
businesses if I can't do what they need. And I think that's so important, like you said,
Hmm.
that all of us go out there and we really help each other.
Yeah.
Any final words of wisdom for the millions of people that are going to watch this being the first episode?
I I just hope that anyone who is interested in starting a business, go ahead and do it. Go ahead and dream big. That's honestly the only regret that I have in my business is not dreaming big sooner. Um, but I know it's all God's timing, and how things have unfolded is exactly how they were supposed to unfold. But I really would encourage anyone that wants to get into business to do it. It is not an easy feat, but I feel like at the end of every single day, it is worth it.
I agree. I agree. Avery, thank you so much for being on the very first episode of Startup Stories. I greatly appreciate it. Guys, this is RJ Allen, and remember to always dream big, pray hard, never quit.